Yeah. Back again for another session, a free session in errors. We are basically on our second day, and hopefully by next week we can complete errors, and we can conclude these free sessions once and for all. Yeah. Without wasting any time further, can someone tell me, am I audible and am I visible? I hope I am. Am I audible and visible? Can someone give me a quick response? Am I audible and visible? Yes, there you go. Thank you, Umar. Appreciate you. So, guys, another confirmation. Is my secondary camera visible to you? I hope it is visible. The secondary camera. Do you see a hand waving at you? Ah, yeah, perfect. Right. So, guys, last week, let me share the screen with you. Last week, we started errors. Okay, we started errors and we completed the errors that do not affect the trial balances. Okay, we completed the errors that do not affect the trial balance. We completed the errors of omission. We looked at all three examples, and then we completed the error of principle. We completed all the adjustments given there as well, and the error of duplication. We completed it, and then the compensating errors, and then the error of original entry. We completed almost every adjustment that might fall under the category of errors that do not affect the trial balance. And fortunately, we did have time. We did have time to complete the errors that affect the trial balance as well. In that, we learned a specific tangent called the suspense account, and we completed the single entry. We didn't complete the errors occurred when closing account. I told you to skip it. And then finally, as a last adjustment, we looked at the errors that might take place due to the recording of a transaction in the wrong side. Okay, right. So we've got two more tangents to complete. The first tangent is basically errors when transferring the balance to the trial balance, and then recorded in the wrong side of account. Okay, right. Let's complete these two first. Okay, let's complete these two theoretical aspects. Afterwards, we can move with the homeworks. I gave you question number 1, question number 2, and question number 3 as homework. If I'm not mistaken, I did even give you question number 4 to be done. Okay, right. So before we embark on the questions, let's get started with this. Okay, did anyone of you give a try? Did anyone of you give a try to these errors when transferring the balance to the trial balance? Anyone give it a try? If you have done it, just post your answer in the group, as in post your answer in the chat box. I guess you would have done this, if my guess is right. It's a pretty easy one, by the way. I think, Amila, we didn't do this. I think we didn't complete this part. This part was left. Okay, I don't know how many of you have done this question. In case if you haven't, okay, let me give you about 2 minutes. Let me give you about 2 minutes. I want you to prepare the journal entry for transaction number 1. Can you please do this? Tell me what's the answer you get. Bank loan 10,000 has not been transferred to the trial balance. What's the correction entry to record this transaction? Okay, I've got one answer for now. Very good, Purnia. What about others? I would highly appreciate if you can give me the answer. And let me tell you, whoever finds the answer to this particular adjustment is a pro in accounting. Let me tell you, whoever finds the answer to this particular adjustment is basically a pro in accounting. Very good, Danish. Very good, Purnia. Others, can you give it a shot? Can you give it a shot? The first one. Bank loan account 10,000 has not been transferred to the trial balance. What is the journal entry down there to correct this error? So far, I've got 2 answers. What about others? The new people can answer too. Huh? Okay, very good, Amila. What about others? If you can provide an answer to this, okay, you are a pro. Okay, good, Amila. Appreciate if others can answer too. It's a very simple one, by the way. Bank loan account 10,000 has not been transferred to the trial balance. Yeah. Okay, Reena is new. Reena, do watch the recording. If you don't have the recording, let me know. Just drop me a message privately. I will send you off the recording. Do make sure that you go through the recording, because if you don't go through the recording, joining this class without any prior knowledge in errors is going to be uh, in vain. Okay, so I would highly insist you to go through the recording, then go through the recording of this class as well. I will be uploading this in the group too. Go through it so that you would understand it better. Okay. Okay, very good, Huda. Okay, we've got Yadurshi. Appreciate you. Okay. Errors when transferring balance to trial balance. This is basically the first one. What is it? Bank loan account 10,000 has been not transferred to the trial balance. Let's do this now. Let's do this now. Here, guys, you got to be pretty careful, okay? Let me switch to my secondary camera. Okay. Here, you got to be pretty careful. I'll tell you why you should be careful. Give me a second. Okay. I hope I'm right. Listen to me. Now, what's happening? Okay. Bank loan 10,000 is not transferred to the trial balance. Bank loan 10,000 is not transferred to the trial balance. Read it carefully, and I want you to hear me well. Hear me well. Hear me well, okay? Bank loan 10,000 is not transferred to the trial balance. Bank loan account 10,000 is not transferred to the trial balance. Okay, look at this. We record the transactions in the prime entry books. We record the transactions in the prime entry books. Then give me a minute. Let me see. Okay. Right. Initially, we record the transactions in the prime entry book, don't we? Then from the prime entry book, where do we take it to? We take it to the GL. From GL, where do we take it to? We take it to the trial balance. We take it to the trial balance. Now, look at this. Look at this adjustment. Bank loan account 10,000 is not transferred to the trial balance. So now we need to scrutinize. We need to research and see where exactly the error has taken place. Has the error taken place in the prime entry book? No. Has the error taken place in the GL? No. Again, no. Has the error taken place in the trial balance? Yes. This time, the error has taken place in the trial balance. This time, the error has taken place in the trial balance, which means I've got nothing to do with the prime entry book. Neither do I have anything to do with the GL. These two things are perfect. The problem is basically with the trial balance. The problem is basically with the trial balance. Now look, just tell me what's the double entry for bank loan 10,000? If 10,000 worth of a bank loan is there, obviously the double entry should be cash account debit 10, bank loan account credit 10. I'll ask you a question. I'll put this to you. You give me an answer, okay? Do they have recorded the 10,000 in the bank loan account? Yes or no? Just one answer. Yes or no? Forget about the cash account. They haven't mentioned anything about the cash account. If nothing is mentioned about the cash account is pitch perfect. If nothing is mentioned about the cash account, there is nothing wrong in it. The problem is basically with the bank loan account, right? Answer me. Do they have credited the bank loan account? Is my bank loan account has its entry perfect. What do you think? Yes, okay. Yes, yes, exactly. 10,000 is correctly recorded in the bank loan account. 10,000 is correctly recorded in the bank loan account. The problem is this. The problem is from the GL, where do we take it to? From the GL, where do we take it to? From the GL, we take it to the trial balance, don't we? From the GL, where do we take it to? We take it to the trial balance. So we've got the debit side, we've got the credit side. Listen to me. When we were transferring these two accounts to the trial balance, unfortunately, cash was transferred, but bank loan wasn't. Cash was transferred, but bank loan wasn't. Now, this is an error. This is an error takes place in the trial balance. This is an error takes place in the trial balance. Do I make sense to you? First of all, as I already told you, what did I tell you last week? You should be more like a doctor here. You should act like a doctor. What does a doctor do? Diagnose the problem first. What does the doctor do? Diagnose the problem first. Once you diagnose the problem, giving the solution is going to be easy. Giving the medicine is peanut. Diagnosing the solution is the most challenging part. Isn't that true? So here, what we have done, we have diagnosed the problem. What's the problem? The problem is this. A bank loan account is not transferred to the trial balance. So cash, no issues. Bank loan is not transferred. Now answer me. Answer me. In which side the TB is falling short? In which side the TB is falling short? Obviously, TB is falling short on the credit side. TB is falling short on the credit side. So this will lead to a suspense. This will lead to a suspense. Okay, in which side the suspense is going to get created? I already told you. This is not something new to us. We already know this. Suspense is created in whichever the side the TB is falling short. Suspense is created in whichever the side the TB is falling short. In my case, it's basically the credit side. So 10,000 will be created on the credit side of the suspense, and we would say difference in trial balance. We would say difference in trial balance. So now a suspense will be created. In which side? Credit side. And my TB will be temporarily balanced. My TB will be temporarily balanced. I just want you to have a rehash. Try to reverberate your thoughts. Try to reverberate your thoughts. We just learned it last Friday. We just learned it last Friday. I want you to reverberate your thoughts, right? Suspense will be created on whichever the side the TB is falling short. In my case, it's credit side. Now the TB is temporarily balanced. The TB is temporarily balanced. Not permanently, but temporarily. Okay. We know an entry should be there in the credit side, but we have absolutely no idea what it is. Yeah. We know there should be something appearing on the credit side, and we have absolutely no clue what it is. Now it's time for us to go and identify what the problem is. Okay. When we go to find out the problem was basically the bank loan. When we go to find out the problem was basically the bank loan. Bank loan, there is a 10. This 10 is not transferred to the trial balance. Okay. So where do we go to? Don't forget, where do we go to? We go to the general journal. Where do we go to? We go to the general journal. And you know general journal. You know general journal is basically a prime entry book where we correct the errors. So we have the debit side and the credit side. We have the debit side and the credit side. Answer me. Answer me. First of all, what we need to do, once we find out the error, what are we supposed to do? We should delete the suspense. That's a norm. That's a norm. That's something that we do all the time. The suspense is there until the error is found out and settled. Once the error is settled, or once you find and sort out the error, you don't need to keep the suspense, you need to delete it. So what's the first thing we should do? We should delete the suspense. Why are we deleting it? Because the error is revealed. The error has been manifested. What's the problem? It's basically the bank loan, right? So what are we supposed to do? I need to delete the suspense. To delete the suspense, I need to make an entry on the debit side. To delete the suspense, I need to make an entry on the debit side. So what am I supposed to do? Suspense account, debit 10. Once I debit 10, this 10 will come and get updated in the suspense account. This 10 will come and get updated in the suspense account. You know this very well, right? The moment you record something in the prime entry book, it will get updated in the ledgers accordingly. Every time you enter something here, it will appear here, right? So now I'm going to delete the suspense. To delete the suspense, I need to make an entry on the debit side of the suspense account. So I would say suspense account debit 10. Question is this: do I need to credit the bank loan account? Do I need to credit the bank loan account? What do you think? Do I need to credit the bank loan account? What do you think? Yes or no? Do I need to credit the bank loan account? What do you think, guys? Suspense account wala I debited. Now the suspense is deleted. Once you debit the suspense, suspense will be deleted. So now suspense is sorted. Do I need to credit the bank loan account? Suspense account debit, bank loan account credit. Do I need to credit the bank loan account? That's my question. What do you think? Very good, Yadurshi. Very good. Appreciate you. What about others? I want all of you to answer, guys. Okay, be interactive. Okay, a yes from Danish. What about others? I debit the suspense account. Okay, once I debit the suspense account, suspense will be deleted. So suspense account debit karla. Do I need to credit the bank loan account? Do I need to credit the bank loan account, or I don't need to? Use your intelligence. Use your head. Simple. Very good, Amila. Very good. Very good. Right, guys. Let me tell you. You don't need to credit the bank loan account. Out of habit, now don't go and credit the bank loan account. Don't do that. Let me tell you why. Listen to me. If you, by any chance, credit the bank loan account, okay, if you debit the suspense and by any chance, if you credit the bank loan account, what will happen? Now this 10,000 will go and it will get updated here. So already there is a 10,000, another 10,000, 10 plus 10, it will become 20. 10 plus 10, it will become 20. You can't make an entry in the bank loan account because the bank loan account is perfectly all right. The bank loan account is completely free from all the errors. It's just that you couldn't take it to the trial balance. It's just that you couldn't take it to the trial balance. Am I making sense to you? Am I making sense to you? So you debit the suspense account to delete it. But you don't necessarily need to credit the bank loan account. Why? If you do so, a 10,000 will come and get credited in the bank loan account. You don't need to do it because my GL is perfect here. I've already put a tick. Can you see? The GL is perfect. The problem was basically with the trial balance. So you don't need to correct your GL. You don't need to correct your GL because in the GL, 10,000 should be there and 10,000 is already there. Am I making sense to you? 10,000 must be there and 10,000 is already there. It's just that the 10,000 was not taken to the trial balance. That's the problem. The problem was basically the transferring process, not the recording process. Recording is done perfectly. So do you need to credit the bank loan account? You don't need to. Why? If you do so, bank loan will get duplicated. If you do so, bank loan will be duplicated. So please keep in mind, you don't make a contra entry. You just need to delete the suspense. You just need to delete the suspense and that's your answer. That's your answer. Okay? Your answer is suspense account debit, right? No more entries needs to be made. So suspense account debit, what is your narration? bank loan not transferred, to TB was corrected. Bank loan not transferred to TB was corrected. There you go. That's your answer. There you go. That's your answer. So once you correct the error, your TB would look like this. Debit, credit, cash, sorry, debit and then the credit thingy, right? We've got cash. It's 10. It was already there. And now instead of suspense, we will have bank loan, credit 10, and my TB will now perfectly get tallied. So this is basically TB before the correction of error. This is TB after the correction of error, right? So that's your answer. Be careful. There will be only one entry. So it's a single entry, not double entry, a single entry. The only entry needed is to basically delete the suspense. The only entry needed is basically the deletion of suspense. Once you delete the suspense, your error is sorted. Why? You don't need to make any entry in the bank loan account because the bank loan account is already free from all the errors. Right? It's completely perfect because the recording part is done. Only the transferring part was not made. Guys, do let me know. Are we okay with this? Are we okay with this, please? Can I get a quick response? I would highly appreciate if you can at least say yes. I know you guys are busy, but yeah, at least a yes would make me happy. Very good, Amila. Very good, Umar. Very good, Shada. Very good, Uda. Very good. Appreciate that you got the point, yeah? So now, what's your answer? Your answer is suspense. Okay. Suspense account debit 10. And what would you say? Bank loan not transferred, transferred to TB was corrected. Okay. Bank loan not transferred to TB was corrected. That's your answer. Okay. Can you do question number 2 for me? Can you do question number 2 for me? Can you give me the answer, please? Question number 2. Rent account balance 6,000 was omitted in the trial balance. Again, it's an error that took place in the trial balance. Okay. Here. Give me the answer. Very good, Amila. Correct, Amila. Okay, very good. Very good, Danish. Very good, Asna. Well done, Asna. Appreciate you. Yeah, very good. Right. So not bad, huh? Not bad. You guys are picking up. Right, okay. Very good, Shauda. Very good, Yadurshi. Okay, okay. So the answer, let's not waste any time. What is it? Suspense, credit, 6,000. Narration is rent, not transferred to TB, was corrected. Rent not transferred to TB was corrected. So there you go. This is again, I don't know if any one of you needed explanation. In case if you need an explanation, okay. So we have rent. So this is rent. Okay. In your rent account, what do we do? We debit 6. And in the cash account, what do we do? We credit 6. Right. So basically the GL is perfect. GL is ideally done in the most perfect way possible. There is nothing wrong with the GL. The problem was basically with the TB. Okay. In the TB, while we are preparing the TB, okay, the cash account was taken. Cash account was taken to the credit side. 6 is there. But in our debit side, nothing is there. In our debit side, nothing is there. So in the credit side, we have 6. In the debit side, we have nothing. So suspense will be created on the debit side. Suspense will be created on the debit side. So this will lead to a suspense account. This will lead to a suspense account in our debit side. Now what do? We go to find out what's the issue. We go to find out what's the issue, and then we understand, okay, rent 6 is the culprit. Rent 6 was not transferred to the TB. Rent 6 was not transferred to the TB. So now what do? You need to delete the suspense. To delete the suspense, you will credit it with a 6. You will credit it with a 6. That's basically this entry. That's the correction entry. Once you credit 6, you don't need to debit the rent account because the rent account is perfectly recorded. The entries have been perfectly recorded in the rent account. It's just that it was not taken to the trial balance. So the only entry that is needed to sort this issue out is basically the suspense. Delete it. With that you are done. Delete it. With that you are done. Okay. Danish is asking a good question. If we do a single entry, won't it create a difference in the debit and credit side of the general journal, or will it be adjusted with the other transactions? Danish, if you do a single entry in the general journal, you are actually making a single entry on the general journal to correct the error. So there is an error and you are trying to correct the error using the single entry. Okay. And you don't necessarily need to have your general journal equal to each side. No, you don't necessarily need to get your general journal tallied. We never balanced the general journal, right? We never balanced the general journal. We balanced the T accounts. Okay, if the T accounts are balanced, then the TB would get balanced. Did we ever try to balance the balances of the prime entry book? We never did. We never did. And we all know for sure that even general journal is a prime entry book. And you don't need to balance the prime entry book, right? Prime entry book, you can do whatever you want. The balancing part is done in the GL. Am I making sense to you, Danish? I hope that's clear, right? So now the last part, record in the wrong side, right? Record in the wrong side. Can you do this question? Rent income 5,000 recorded in the trial balance in the debit side. Let's see who's going to get this correct. Let's see who's going to get this correct. Go for it. Rent income 5,000 recorded in the trial balance in the debit side. Let me give you like 2 minutes. You don't need 2 minutes. Let me give you 1 minute. Do it quick. Danish, I think again you are making a mistake. Give it a thorough check. Rent income 5,000 recorded in trial balance in the debit side. Rent income 5,000 recorded in trial balance. Again, the GL is perfect, Danish. Why are you adjusting the GL? Think twice. I want you to think twice. Others, give you a shot. Give it a good shot. Go for it. I think again, Puanya is also making the same mistake. Puanya, the problem is with the trial balance, not the GL. Correct, Amila. Very good, Amila. You got it. Superb, huh? Asna, you are correct, Asna, but only the amount that you have entered is wrong. Asna, you are perfectly correct, but the only problem is basically the amount. Can you please double check the amount? It's not the amount you have entered, it's a different amount. The entry is correct. Huh? The account on the side is correct, only the amount needs to change. Only the amount needs to change. Very good, Asna. You are correct. Well done, well done, well done, well done, well done. All right, I think time is up. We can't be wasting a lot of time here. Guys, again, the problem is with the TB, right? The problem is with TB. The problem is not with the GL, okay? So let me quickly erase this. The problem is not with the GL. The problem is actually identified in TB, which means my GLs are perfect. Which means my GLs are perfect. There is nothing wrong with the GL. So what is this? This is rent income 10. No, rent income 5. Yeah. Yeah. This is rent income 5. So what's the double entry for rent income? What's the double entry for rent income? Come along with me. Rent income should be credited by 5. Cash account should be debited by 5. Do you have any issues with the GL? Do you have any issues with the GL? No. My GLs are perfect. I have no issues with the GL. My GLs are perfect. Problem is there with the TB. Problem is there with the TB. When we transfer this to the TB should look like this. Rent income, the TB should be reflected in the credit side. Rent income should be reflected in the credit side. Cash should be reflected in the debit side. Isn't that true? This is the correct TB. This is the correct TB. But what did the guy do? What did this guy do? Instead of crediting, he debited. Instead of crediting, what did he do? He debited. Now, the TB is falling short by 10,000. On my debit, I have 10. On my credit, I've got nothing. Right? In my debit, I've got 10. In my credit side, I've got nothing. So, TB is falling short. This time, it fall short in the credit side. So suspense is going to get created. Suspense is going to get created in the credit side, because you and I know suspense will be created in whichever the side the TB is falling short. Suspense is created in whichever the side the TB is falling short. So now the suspense is created on the credit side. Suspense is created on the credit side. Okay. One more T account. One more T account to come. Which T account is it? Suspense. Okay. Right. So in the suspense, I have 10,000 difference in TB. Difference in TB. Now, what do? You go investigating what has happened. You go investigating what has happened. Okay. Now you take a look at the GL. If you take a look at the GL, nothing wrong. If you take a look at the GL, nothing is wrong. Rent income is credited perfectly. Cash is debited perfectly, which means my GLs are okay. My GLs are certified. Nothing to do with the GL. Okay, so the GL is fine. Now you come to the TB, right? Once you come to the TB, and if you take a look at the TB, OMG, what did you do? Rent income should be on the credit side. What did you do? You put it on the debit side. Do I make sense to you? You come step by step. You come step by step. Prime entry book is fine, you come to the GL. GL is fine, you come to the TB. The problem is basically with the TB. The problem is basically with the TB. What has happened? Rent income that should appear in the credit side is actually appearing in the debit side. You are an idiot. You just literally twisted the side. You just literally twisted the side. So what are you supposed to do now? Delete the suspense. Delete the suspense. For that, what you would do? For that, what you would do? You would debit the suspense by 10. You would debit the suspense by 10. The moment you debit the suspense, it will go and get reflected on the debit side of the suspense account. Therefore, your suspense account will now have an equal balance. It will have a zero balance. Why? Because it is nullified now. I'll ask you a question. You debit the suspense account. Do you need to credit the rent income account? Answer me. You debited the suspense account, fine. Do you need to credit the rent income account? Answer me. Do you need to? Very good, Amila. No need. Appreciate it. You don't need to credit the suspense account. Sorry, you don't need to credit the rent income account, because the rent income account is already free from all the errors. I told you the GL is perfect. So the entry is suspense account debit. No entries will be made on the credit side. No entries will be made on the credit side. Guess what? Some teachers, this is what they do. Some teachers would put like this, Memadana, credit. What the heck is that? You don't need to do anything. You don't need to put the dotted lines and say credit. Just leave it with one entry. Just leave it with one entry. You don't need to have an opposite entry. Even with the dotted lines and stuffs, no need to. Just a suspense account debit, you're done. Just a suspense account debit, you're absolutely done with the issue. Now, what's your answer? Rent income recorded in the wrong side of TB was corrected. Rent income recorded in the wrong side of TB was corrected, and that's basically the answer for question number 1 here. Right. Go for question number 2, please. Go for question number 2. Go for it. Guys, bank balance simply means cash. Bank balance simply means cash. Okay, go for it. Okay, we've got Amila giving us the correct answer. Very good, Amila. Okay, we've got Puvanya. Puvanya, I think you'll have to check the side. Double check the side. Go in the process. Go with the process. Wait, I think Amila. Yeah. Yes, Amila, you are correct. Yeah. Yeah. Danish, your answer is correct. I think I made a mistake there. Yeah, you are correct. Yeah. Yadurshi, 100% correct. Very good, Yadurshi. Well done, Asna. Asna, you are correct too. Right. So the answer is very simple. The answer is going to be suspense credited by 20. Suspense credited by 20. You'd say bank balance recorded in the wrong side of TB was corrected. Bank balance recorded in the wrong side of TB was corrected. There you go. That brings us to the end of errors. Okay, so we are almost done with all the adjustments in error. We have a small part left called errors when closing the account. You don't need that. Trust me, you don't need that. You are now just good to go with the questions. You are now just good to go with the questions. Okay, now the homework I gave you was basically activity number 1. Activity number 1. Okay. Surya Company disclosed the net profit 750,000 for the year ended 31st March 2023. And following errors were identified through subsequent investigation. Always keep in mind, if a question is related to error, obviously they will ask for the journal entries. Obviously they'll ask for the journal entries. Okay, now they have given us the profit too, right? If profit is given, the examiner will ask you to correct the profit. Can you see? Adjust the profit for the year ended 31st March 2023. Now, why do we need to adjust it? Because the profit given is wrong. The profit given in the question is wrong. Why is it wrong? Due to the following 5 errors. Right? There are 5 errors identified subsequently. These 5 errors are not reflected in this 750. Sorry, these 5 errors are reflected in this 750. What are you supposed to do? You need to correct these errors and you need to make this incorrect profit into a correct one. I'll teach you how it's done. Let's get started. Okay. So this question got 2 requirements. Okay. This question got two requirements. They want us to prepare the statement to adjust the profit, and they also want us to provide them the journal entries. Okay, let's do this. So I will do a general journal to correct the errors. Right. Okay. Details, debit, credit. Details, debit and credit. Okay, that's basically the general journal. And they also want us to adjust the profit. They also want us to adjust the profit. So for that, I will create another statement. The statement is not needed, but better you go with a statement. That way it looks so appealing to the examiner. Whoever marks your paper, it look appealing to them. That's why I want you to go with a statement. Okay, the statement would look good. Okay. This is a profit adjusted statement. Okay, so what's basically the profit before correction? Profit before the correction. Okay, how much is it? Profit before correction is 750, right? Okay, so keep in mind, don't write profit before correction. I think this is something that I already taught back in prime entry books and accounting equation. You don't need to use the term profit before correction. Who can remember? I told you a term you can use to indicate the profit before the correction. What is it? What's the term? Who can remember? There is a term I taught you in the previous chapters, right? A term that can be used to identify an incorrect profit. What is it? Very good, very good, very good, Danish. Okay, it's draft profit. What do you call it? You call it the draft profit. Okay, so there is a draft profit given for us. How much is it? 750K. 750K is given. So let me put rupee 30. So I'm going to reduce 3 zeros to do this question. Okay, right. Now let's get started. Let's get started. Okay, what's the first piece of information given? What's the first piece of information given? Discount allowed 9,200 was not transferred to profit or loss account. Discount allowed 9,200 was not transferred to profit or loss account. Okay, listen. What do they mean by this? Profit or loss account here. Discount allowed 9,200 was not transferred to profit or loss account. Okay, I want you to take a moment and think. I want you to take a moment and think. Okay, now when it comes to discount allowed, what's the double entry for discount allowed? Discount allowed account debit, trade receivable credit. Discount allowed account debit, trade receivable credit. So discount allowed account, I will be debiting 9.2, and in the trade receivable account, I'll be crediting 9.2. Answer me. Between these two accounts, tell me which account will be charged to profit or loss. Tell me which account will be charged to profit or loss. Very good. Very good, Amila. Very good, Uda. We all know for sure, discount allowed will be charged to profit or loss account. Trade receivable will be carried down, and it will be brought forward. It will be brought forward. So metaphorically, they mean 9,200 was not transferred to the discount allowed account. 9,200 was not transferred to the discount allowed account. Metaphorically, they mean the discount allowed account here using the term profit or loss. Using the term profit or loss. Okay, now go to our method. You know the method that we use, right? You know the method that we use. Okay, what's the method? So let me say working. You don't need to show this, okay? You don't need to show the workings and stuffs, but you know, I'm just doing it for any understanding. Okay, right. What's the double entry for discount allowed? Discount allowed account debit, trade receivable, if not data account credit. How much is it? 9.2, 9.2. So in the trade receivable account, 9.2 is credited, but in the discount allowed account, nothing is debited. The discount allowed account, nothing is debited. So this will lead to a suspense. In which side? Suspense is created in whichever the side the TB is falling short. If you take a look at this, working, we have an entry in the credit side, but we don't have any entry in the debit side. We have an entry in the credit side. We do not have any entry in the debit side. Therefore, the TB will fall short on the debit side. So suspense is therefore created on the debit side as well. Suspense is therefore created on the debit side as well. There you go. Now the TB is temporarily balanced. Now the TB is temporarily balanced. Now what are you supposed to do? You need to correct the error. You need to correct the error. So what you need to do to correct the error, you need to delete the suspense. You need to delete the suspense. To delete the suspense, you will credit the suspense with a 9.2. You will credit the suspense with a 9.2. So, 1 suspense will be credited by 9.2. Why are you crediting the suspense again? To delete the suspense, because now the suspense is revealed. The suspense is revealed. So you don't need to keep the suspense. Suspense is no longer needed. Delete it. After deleting, where do you take it to? After deleting, where do you take it to? This 9.2 should have been debited in the discount allowed account. It was not debited, right? So now go and debit it. Discount allowed account, debited 9.2. So suspense credited 9.2. Discount allowed account, debit 9.2. There you go. Your error is corrected. Your error is corrected. Now what's the narration? Discount allowed not recorded was corrected. Guys, when I say WC was corrected, when I say WC, it was corrected. Okay. So discount allowed not recorded was corrected. There you go. That's your answer for the first question. That's basically the answer for the first question. Did you understand? Now, the general part is done. The error is corrected. We should come down to the profit adjustment. Okay. Now let me give you a clue. Let me give you a clue. One of the easiest way to find out if an error is affecting the profit or loss is this. You know, the primary factor that affects the profit. Primary factor that affects the profit are two things: income and expense. Income and expense. These are the two factors that will have an impact on profit. You know that very well. You know that very well. This is chapter number 2, accounting equation. In accounting equation, we all have learned two ways of calculating the profit. We've got the income and expense method, which is also known as the direct method. And then we have the net asset method. Let's not talk about that. The direct method to calculate profit is basically to take the income, subtract all the expenses. So keep in mind, as long as one of these two tangents are affected, you need to adjust it. Simple as that. Due to the error, let me repeat it for you one more time. due to an error, if one of these tangent is affected, it must be adjusted. Right? If an error was to affect one of these tangents, what are those tangents? Income and expense. If my income or expense is affected due to an error, then that error must be adjusted here. That's basically the clue that we can use to sort of maneuver this situation, or to sort of maneuver this particular challenge that we got. Okay, so now think. If you take a look at the working, we have discount allowed. If you take a look at the working, we've got discount allowed, and we all know discount allowed is an expense. So now expense is affected. If expense is affected, my profit also affected. We all know discount allowed is affected. Discount allowed is an expense. If my discount allowed is affected, obviously my profit is affected too. Obviously my profit is affected too. There you go. Now tell me, the draft profit is 750. I want all of you to answer. So listen to me well. Listen to me clearly. I want you to answer this question. Discount allowed is an expense, but this discount allowed was not recorded. Discount allowed was not recorded before. So we all know discount allowed is an expense. Okay. And that expense is not recorded in the profit. Expense is not adjusted in the profit. Think about it. Expense that should be adjusted is not adjusted. Expense that should be subtracted is not subtracted. Expense that should be deducted is not deducted. So if something that should be subtracted, if something that should be deducted is not deducted, then what has happened to the profit? Answer me. If expense 9.2 that should be deducted from the profit is not deducted, Kemoko? If so, what would have happened to the profit? Exactly. The profit is increased. The profit has gone up. The profit has obviously gone up. Now what are you supposed to do? Bring it down. That's it. Now what are you supposed to do? Bring it down. Okay. So now bring it down. What is it? Discount allowed. What is it? Discount allowed. That's a 9.2. That's a 9.2. You see, once we understand the basics, doing it is just as easy as pie. Anyone can do it as long as they have the understanding. I'll tell you one thing, Ed. I'll tell you one thing. You know, we've got a lot of A-grade students in accounting. We've got a lot of A-grade students in accounting. But most of them work like a machine. Most of them work like a machine. They have no idea as to why they do certain adjustments, but they do it for the sake of doing it. Right? For the sake of being taught by the teacher. The teacher says, okay, for example, when it comes to bank reconciliation, okay, add the unpresented check, the students add it. Minus the unrealized check, the students go and deduct it. But they have absolutely no idea what's an unpresented check. They have no idea what's an unrealized check. They have absolutely no idea if a check is not presented this month, right? How long does it take to get presented? Right? Can the recipient go to the bank next month? Can he go to the bank in 2 months? Can he go to the bank in 3 months' time? They have no idea. They just do it why the teacher told us. Add the unpresented check, deduct the unrealized check. I have no idea why, but let me do it more like a machine. There is no point of learning accounting in that way. You need to learn accounting in a more rationalized perspective. You should be rational. You should know why you do things. You should know why you add. You should know why you subtract. That's the way you become a thorough accounting student. Anyone can get an A pass, but not everyone can understand accounting. That's mandatory. Okay, right. Now let's go to the second adjustment. What do we got? Sales 200,000 and VAT on sales 30,000 were credited to the sales account. There you go. Sales is basically 200,000. VAT on sales is 30,000. Both are credited to the sales account. Both are credited to the sales account. Okay. Remember the performer. Remember the performer. I taught you the performer. You can't forget this. You can't forget this. Okay. The performer of sales with VAT. Performer of sales with VAT. What's the performer? Sales. On sales, VAT is imposed. On sales, VAT is imposed. Is it cash sales or credit sales? Okay, they haven't mentioned anything, so this should be cash. They haven't mentioned anything. Just to let you know, guys, they haven't mentioned anything like credit sales or cash sales, Kiala, so we can assume this to be cash. Okay, so we've got sales. On sales, VAT is imposed. On sales, if VAT is imposed, what do we get? What do we get? We get cash. What do we get? We get cash. That's the correct performer of sales with VAT. That's the correct performer of sales with VAT. Now, what's my sales? My sales is 200. What's my VAT? My VAT is 30. Then what's my cash? My cash is 230. Isn't that true? If sales is 200, if VAT is 30, my cash should be 230 because when we sell, we get the sales as well as the VAT. When we were about to sell it for 200, the government charged us 30 VAT. So now we are selling it for 230. So in total, we are getting 230. That's something that we all know, parliamentary books. Okay, now let's basically decide on the side. Let's basically decide on the side. Sales is an income, income should be credited. Sales is an income, income should be credited. VAT on sales is a liability. You know that VAT on sales is a liability. Why? It is payable to the government. VAT on sales is a liability. It is payable to the government. So it should be credited too. So sales is an income credited. VAT on sales is a liability credited. Cash comes in, you need to debit. Cash comes in, you need to debit. So this is the correct double entry. This is the correct double entry. But what this bugger has done, look, what do they tell you? What do they tell you? Sales 200,000 and VAT on sales 30,000 were credited to the sales account. Okay, now listen to me. In the sales account, we should credit 200. In the VAT account, you should credit 30. In the cash account, you should debit 230, right? But no entries were made in the VAT account. No entries were made in the VAT account. And the entire 230 is credited in the sales. The entire 230 is credited in the sales. Do you understand the problem? Do you understand the problem? First of all, you should try to figure out, as I already told you, be like a doctor. Be like a doctor. What are you supposed to do? You should try to figure out the problem first. Diagnose the issue first. Now we have diagnosed the issue. What's the problem? Sales account should have been credited by 200, but it is actually credited by 230. VAT account should have been credited by 30, but actually it is not credited by anything whatsoever. In the cash account, we've got no issues. In the cash account, we've got no issues. Now tell me, will this lead to a suspense? Will this lead to a suspense? No, it won't lead to a suspense. This won't lead to a suspense. Trust me. Why it won't lead to a suspense? You see, because the credit side is equal to the debit side. The credit side is equal to the debit side, so this won't lead to a suspense. Now we just need to correct it. We just need to correct it. How are we going to correct it? This sales should be 200. This sales should be 200. So to make it 200, what am I going to do? There is 230 in the credit side. Let me debit 30. That way, my sales will become 200. And this 30 is not actually sales. This 30 is not actually the sales. What is it? It's basically the VAT. So you need to park it down there in the VAT account. So VAT account credit 30. VAT account credit 30. There you go. That's your answer. Am I making sense to you? So second adjustment, I got a debit 30 in the sales account. Why am I debiting it? Because I need to remove the VAT element included in the sales. And that VAT element needs to be taken to the VAT account. So I need to take it to the VAT and credit the 30 down there. There you go. With that, my error is sorted. We can say VAT recorded in sales was corrected. VAT recorded in sales was corrected. There you go. We are done with the second adjustment too. We are done with the second adjustment too. Right. Guys, if you got any doubts, I'll tell you. I know some of you are basically joining these classes since last week. So you might not know me. So you might wonder, is it all right if I ask for any doubts? Because I'm basically having the privilege to sit for a free class. He's offering us a free class. So are we supposed to ask doubts? You can ask any doubts. I have no issues. I'm really happy if you can post me with doubts, because that sort of shows your curiosity to learn, right? That can trigger me to a different caliber if you like. Okay. So you got doubts, you got to please ask me. Whatever the doubt it is, please ask me now. Be like Danish and Shauda. Those two will literally kill me with doubts. Okay. Right. So there you go. I'll ask you a question now. Does this error have got anything to do with profit? Answer me. That's something that I want all of you to answer. The only criteria is this: does it have any impact on the income or expense? If so, it will. If not, it won't. Answer me. Does this error has got anything to do with profit? No. Okay. Yes. Okay. No. We've got 2 no's and 1 yes. We've got 2 no's and 1 yes. Let's see who else has answered no. Okay, we've got 3 no's and 1 yes. 3 no's, 1 yes. Oh, 2 no's and 2 yes. Tie, 50-50. Exactly, Asna. Exactly. What did I tell you? What did I tell you? If one of this element is affected, it will have an impact on profit. If one of this element is affected, it will have an impact on profit. Ade, listen, open your eyes, man. Open your eyes. What's a sale? What is sales? Guys, sales is an income, innit? Sales is an income, isn't it? So if sales is an income, if sales are affected, if sale is affected, obviously it will have an impact on profit. Obviously, it will have an impact on profit. What did I tell you? The criteria is very simple. The criteria is very simple. What's the criteria? As long as one of these elements is affected, it will have a bloody impact on profit. It will have an impact on profit. So very good, Asna. Asna was basically using that way. Okay, she just figured out, okay, sales is affected. If sales is affected, obviously my profit is affected too. So the wrong fellas, I don't want to be specific as to who got the answer wrong. You all understood, right? Understood this has an impact on profit? I guess yes. Let me know if there is anything. Okay, let me know if there is anything. Now, listen. In 230, we have recorded 230 as income. We have recorded 230 as income. But actually my income is 200. Why? Within this 230, there is 30 that should be considered as a liability. Right? Within this 230, there is 30. The 30 is not an income. Within this 230, there is 30. That is not sales. It's VAT. So it's not an income, it's a liability. It's not an income, it's a liability. So something that shouldn't be recorded as an income is recorded as an income. Something that should not be recorded as an income is recorded as an income. Problematic. Isn't that true? Now tell me, your income is overstated now. Your income is overstated. Your actual income is 200, but you overstated it by 30. So if your income is overstated, your profit is overstated too. If your income is overestimated, your profit is overestimated too, consequently. So what do you need to do now? Your profit is gone up. Your profit has gone up. Bring it down one more time. Bring it down one more time. This time, who is it? VAT. How much is it? 30. How much is it? 30. I hope that's clear. I hope that's clear, right? Let me know you got any doubts, yeah? If you have any doubts, you can ask me. I would really appreciate it. Okay, whom do we have next? Check received 21,000 from a debtor with discount allowed 2,000, which check was refused by the bank and cancelled discount allowed also. But there are no entries recorded in the books. Okay, Okay, sorry for the grammar issues here. These are basically questions from your term test paper. So obviously I just copy pasted it. I didn't check for any grammatical accuracy. Okay, but yeah, you got it right. Check received 21,000 from data with discount allowed 2,000, which check was refused by the bank. Cancel discount allowed also, but there are no entries recorded in the books. Okay. Okay. I hope the new students must have learned the double entries for check dishonored. You must know this. In case if you don't know, I will explain you. In case if you don't know, let me explain it to you. Right. I'm going to erase this. I'm going to utilize this space for the workings. Huh? Let me utilize this space for the workings. 3. Okay. So, I think that's too high. 3. Okay. So, look, we've got trade receivable. Okay. We are allowing them a discount and we are getting the cash from them. Balance, we are getting that as cash. So we've got trade receivable. Okay. And we allow a certain amount of discount and we get the remaining as cash. Okay. Now, what is the discount? What is the cash? So discount is 21. Sorry, cash is 21. Discount is 2. So cash received was 21. Discount is 2. So the total receivable settled was 23. Why? If the cash is 21, if the cash amount received is 21, if discount allowed is 2, the total amount receivable should be 23. So the total amount receivable was 23. Out of 23, 2 was allowed as discount and we received the remaining. Am I making sense to you? Right. Now, what's the double entry for cash received? What's the double entry for cash received from data? Cash account gets debited because cash comes in. Cash account is debited because cash comes in. Discount allowed is an expense debited. Trade receivable gets credited. Isn't that true? So trade receivable gets credited. Why? Because now if trade receivable settles the money, trade receivable will go down. Out of 23, 2 is a discount and we all know discount is an expense. Expense should be debited. And obviously we get cash, therefore we debit the cash account. Okay, I hope that double entry is clear. Now what's happening? This check is rejected. If a check received from data is rejected, you just need to do a simple adjustment. You just need to do a very simple adjustment. Let me tell you, reverse it. What you need to do? Reverse everything that you did now. You credited the trade receivable thinking he settled the money. But he didn't settle it. Therefore, you got a debit. You debited the discount allowed account. You thought he gave you money. So you gave him a discount. Now, even the discount is rejected. For that, you need to credit the discount allowed account. You thought you were receiving cash. So you debited the cash account, but unfortunately the cash is not received. Therefore, you need to credit it. That's basically the reversal entry for check rejected by the business. Okay. No, Danish. Isn't the discount allowed is included in that 21,000? No, Danish. I'll tell you why. Discount allowed is not included within this 21,000. I'll tell you why. Because it is basically the received amount is 21. You know cash and check are equal, right? We all know cash and check are equal. So the cash received is 21. Discount allowed is 2. Cash received is 21. Discount allowed is 2. Which means the received amount is 21. Allowed discount is 2. Therefore, trade receivable is 23. Okay. I hope that's clear. Look. So now no entries are made. Am I correct? No entries are made. Why? Because that's what they clearly tell you. Look what they tell you. No entries were made. No records have been made in the books for the check refusal, right? So now you need to do what you need to do. You just need to reverse it. You just need to make all these 3 entries. With that, you are done, right? So what am I supposed to do? Trade receivable account debit 23. Discount allowed account credit 2 to reverse the discount. Cash account credit 21 to reverse the cash. Okay. With that, everything is reversed. With that, everything is reversed. You can say check dishonored was corrected. Check dishonored was corrected. There you go. Guys, are we good with this? Are we good with the third adjustment? Yeah. Can I get a quick confirmation? I'm basically screaming out of my throat now. I've got classes tomorrow as well. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm already losing my voice. Okay, thank you, Amila. Thank you. When you respond, I'm really happy. Okay, that's why I keep asking. I know it's quite frustrating when your lecturer keep asking for responses. Thank you, Huda. Thank you very much. Thank you, Puanya. Love that. Okay, right there you go. Question. Think, okay, don't jump. Think. Does this error has got anything to do with profit? Does this error affect the profit simply? Does this error affect the profit? What do you think? Very good, Amila. Very good, Danish. Yeah. Okay. Okay, Shada, Asna, I think you'll have to recheck your answer. I think you were slightly missing out the discount part. Exactly. Exactly. Whom do we have? We've got the bugger discount. Whose discount? Discount is an expense. Discount is an expense. So it clearly affects the profit. It clearly affects the profit. Listen, it's completely all right to make mistakes. It is completely all right to make mistakes. This is something that I invariably tell in every classes out there. When you make a mistake, you learn it better. When you make a mistake, you tend to learn it even better than someone who's just learning and getting it right for the first time. When you make a mistake, it gives you an opportunity to reflect on what you did that sort of made you go wrong. So it's completely all right to make mistakes. I would say blessings are basically coming in your way whenever you make a mistake, right? There you go. So don't worry about making mistakes. So now you recorded 2000 as discount. You recorded 2000 as discount, but it should be reversed. You recorded 2000 as discount, it should be reversed. Now, what did you do? To record that 2000 as a discount, when you record that discount allowed in the profit, your profit tends to come down. Your profit tends to come down. Why? Let me tell you one more time. You have recorded 2000 as discount allowed. So if you record 2000 as discount allowed, it's obviously an expense. So you have recorded an expense, but now the expense should be reversed. Now the expense should be reversed. So when you record discount allowed as an expense, your profit came down. Your profit came down. To make it up, what you need to do? You need to add it discount allowed. Okay, that's 2. You need to add it. Now I know some stupid questions might come to your head. Sir, there is a discount allowed here, discount allowed here. Are we need to nullify? Are we need to set this off and put an answer in one line? Don't be a stupid. Don't be that stupid, okay? You just show 2 discount allowed. There is nothing wrong in it. If your teacher is so fussy about this, then obviously you are basically choosing the wrong teacher. Okay, right. Fourth one. Return inward of 3800 was recorded in the sales journal. Return inward of 3800 was recorded in the sales journal. Okay. Sales return recorded in the sales journal. Sales return recorded in the sales journal. Okay, you and I know the first thing we should do is to find out the correct double entry for the sales return. What's the correct double entry for sales return? Sales return account, debit, trade receivable, credit. Because that's a sales return. Now the sales return is recorded in the sales journal. Sales return is recorded in the sales journal. Answer me. If something is recorded in the sales journal, what is it counted as? What is it counted as? Is it counted as a cash sale or is it counted as a credit sale? If something is recorded in the sales journal, is it counted as a cash sale or is it counted as a credit sale? Of course. Very good. Very good, very good, very good, Asna. Very good, Sharda. Very good, Amila. It's counted as a credit sale. So something that should be recorded as sales return is not recorded. Something that should be recorded as a contra entry in the trade receivable account is not recorded. So instead of recording this as a sales return, you recorded this as a credit sales. You recorded this as a credit sales. So what's the double entry for credit sales? Trade receivable account debit, sales account credit. Trade receivable account debit, sales account credit. So now something that must be recorded as sales return is recorded as credit sales. Okay, so how much? I hope it is 3,800, right? So in the trade receivable account you debited 3,008 and in the sales account you credited 3,008. Sorry, not 3,008, 3,800, 3.8, 3.8. Now what do you need to do? You need to reverse. You need to reverse this entry and you need to make the entry here. You need to reverse this two entry and you need to make the entry here. So to reverse it, sales account debit 3.8, trade receivable account credit 3.8. So now the credit sales is reversed. Now the credit sales is reversed. Am I making sense to you? Right. Now the credit sales is reversed. Where do you take it to? You take it to the sales return entry. You should take it to the sales return entry. So it is not a sales, it is a sales return. So in the sales return account, I must debit 3.8 because nothing is debited. Because nothing is debited. In the trade receivable account, it should be credited, but it is not credited. So credit now 3.8. There you go. That's your answer. There you go. That's your answer. Am I making sense to you? Am I making sense to you? So point is this. Point is this. If you take a look at these entries, you see there is a common entry. Here, there is a common entry. In the trade receivable account, there is a common entry. Okay? Trade receivable got duplicated twice because there is a common entry. Credited twice. Credited 3.8, again credited 3.8. If you accumulate them together, it's credit 7.6. It's credit 7.6. I hope the board is basically going out of the frame. So it's 7.6. Okay, right. So now let's do this. In the sales account, debit 3.8 to remove the sales. In the sales return account, debit another 3.8. Okay, so sorry. Yeah, to record the sales return, right? So in the sales account, you debit 3.8 to remove the sales. And you need to enter that in the sales return account. That's here, this entry. Now in the trade receivable account, you should credit. How much are you going to credit? You're going to credit 7.6. You're going to credit 7.6. So you can say sales return recorded as sales was corrected. Sales return recorded as sales was corrected. There you go. That's your answer for question number 4. Right? Guys, before I look at the profit adjustment, before we take a look at the profit adjustment, can I get a quick answer? Are we okay with the fourth one? I hope we are. I hope we are okay with the fourth one. Good, Amila. Okay, very good, Danish. Okay, superb, superb. Yeah, if there is anything, you gotta let me know. Okay, if you have any issues, you gotta let me know. That's very important. Okay, just to let you know, guys, to do errors, you should be good in double entries too. To do errors, you should be good in double entries too. And just to let you know, every chapter that's going to come after this chapter, you don't necessarily need to know double entries, because accounting is going to take a complete U-turn from chapter number 5. From chapter number 5, your accounting, basically your accounting class is going to take a complete U-turn. Okay, from that point onwards, you are not going to basically deal with debits and credits. Rather, you'll be dealing with additions and subtractions. So it's going to be even more interesting. And to be brutally honest with you, from the next chapter, the game begins. From the next chapter, the most important chapters often tested in your final exam are going to get tested. So from next chapter, you are absolutely going to cover up almost 80 marks of your total paper from the next chapter. Until now, it's been just 20 marks. Until now, it's just 20 marks. From the next chapter is going to be the remaining 80 marks. Whether you learn with me or you learn with someone else, do it well. Do it well. Even if you have messed up the prime entry book, completely all right. Even if you have messed up the double entries, no problem. Even if you have messed up the errors and bank reconciliation, never mind. Do from now. Do from the next class. Do from the next chapter. You'll do it well. Okay? And I wish you all the best for that. I wish you all the best for that. Okay. Now, look, do we have anything to deal with? Yes, of course, we have to deal with, an error is made in the income account and another error is made in the contra income account. Okay, an error is made in the income account. Also, another error is made in the contra income account. Now, think about it. Think about it. A contra income, sales return is a contra income. You know that, right? Sales return is a contra income. A contra income more or less like an expense. Contra income can be more or less like an expense, but you can't say sales return to be an expense. If you say so, you are wrong. Sales return is not an expense. Sales return is basically an income account which will have an entry in the opposite side. Sales return is an income account, but the entry will be made on the opposite side, i.e. on the debit side. That's why you call it a contra income account. So this is more or less like an expense. More or less like an expense. So contra income is recorded as an income. Contra income is recorded as an income. Simply, something which is more or less like an expense, something which is more or less like an expense is recorded as an income. Something which is more or less like an expense is recorded as an income. Answer me, what has happened to the profit now? Something which is more or less like an expense or something which is an expense came ago. Something that is an expense recorded as an income. Tell me what has happened to the profit now. I know you all will say profit has increased, no doubt in it. I know you all will say profit has increased because sales return is recorded as sales. Contra income is recorded as an income. Obviously, the profit has gone up. Tell me by how much? Tell me by how much the profit has gone up. Tell me by how much the profit has gone up. Yeah, yeah, correct, Amila. What about others? No, Danish, no, you need to think twice. Correct, Amila. You're correct. Huda, correct. Correct, Huda. I think, yeah, you got the point. I'm glad. You guys are a bunch of good, smart people, huh? Never thought you guys would be this smart, huh? Really happy for you. You guys are a bunch of smart people. You don't need a teacher. I think you can learn by yourself. Uh-huh. Good, Danish. Yeah. The profit got duplicated twice. The profit got increased twice. The profit has increased twice. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. Okay. Imagine, okay, imagine. It's 3.8 and 3.8. Let's say you had a balance of 3.8. Sorry, let's say you had a balance of 10. Let's say 10,000 was your profit balance. Let's say 10,000 was your profit balance. Okay. So now sales return should reduce the profit. Sales return should reduce the profit. So your profit should be 6.2. Your profit should be 6.2. So this is the correct profit. This is the correct profit. Your profit should be 6.2. Okay. But instead of recording this as a sales return, you recorded it as a sale, which means you recorded that as an income. So something that should be subtracted was added. Something that should be subtracted was added. So now your profit is 13.8. And we all know this is the incorrect profit. We all know this is an incorrect profit. Do I make sense to you? And this is golden rule number 2. This is golden rule number 2. This is not something new for you to like open your bloody mouth and wonder. No, you know this very well. I taught you this already. What's the golden rule? Instead of deducting, if you add, it will get added twice. Instead of adding, if you deduct, it will get deducted twice. Instead of debiting, if you credit, it will get credited twice. Instead of crediting, if you debit, it will get debited twice. This is golden rule number 2. I told you, right? I told you. So this is a rule that is universally applied no matter what subject you do. Despite the subject you do, this is a universal sort of a logic that is applied despite every damn subject out there, right? So instead of deducting, you added. So instead of deducting, if you add, it will get added twice. Let me show it to you. Look at the difference between incorrect profit and correct profit. Look at the difference between incorrect profit and correct profit. Is it 3.8? No, it's 3.8 and 3.8. It's 7.6. It's 7.6. Why? 3.8 should be deducted, you didn't. 3.8 should be deducted, you didn't. Instead of deducting, you added. Right? Instead of deducting, you added. So something that should be deducted is not deducted. Instead of deducting, you added. So 3.8, 3.8. Now it's 7.6. Now you need to deduct the 3.8 that you mistakenly added. And then you should go and deduct another 3.8 that's supposed to be deducted. Think about that. Think about that. I hope that's clear. I hope that's clear. So now my profit is duplicated in multitudes. I can't say multitudes, but my profit is increased twice. So I need to reduce it twice. So I can say sales and sales return. How much is it? 7.6. That's a beautiful adjustment, isn't it? So that's basically fourth adjustment. That's a very good question. Asna is asking, sir, won't sales and sales return get cancelled? Asna, did you understand the logic or do you want me to explain this doubt to you? Are we okay? Like sometime you might have posted the question before I explained it to you. Maybe after explanation, you might have got it. What's the case, Asna? No, sir, I got it now. Perfect. Thank you very much. Righto, righto. What's next? Don't worry, the recordings are there in the group. Okay, I will upload the recordings for you to watch it. No problem with that. Fifth one. Okay. That's the last adjustment we got to do. Contra entry 2000 was debited in the sales account and credited to the debtor account. You know what's a contra entry? You know what's a contra entry, right? What is a contra entry? Trade receivable and trade payable are set off. Trade receivable and trade payable are getting set off against each other. That is what we call contra. So when you make a contra entry, your trade receivable should go down and your trade payable should go down too. If your trade payable was to go down, you should debit. If your trade receivable was to go down, you should credit. So this is the correct double entry. This is the correct double entry. So contra entry 2000 was debited in the sales account. Okay, so instead of debiting the trade payable account, what did you do? You debited the sales account and credited to the data account. So in the data account is perfectly fine, but in the trade payable, you sort of made a mess. Okay, let's go for it. Let's go for it. So what's the double entry for contra? Trade payable, if not creditor, both are correct because I got a doubt from an online student asking me, sir, my teacher used to teach me credit and debtor instead of trade payable and trade receivable. Which one am I supposed to use? You can use whatever you want. You can use whatever you want, okay? You are not, your examiner is not going to be fussy about those things. Your examiner is not going to be fussy about those things. So don't worry. Okay, you can use whichever the name that is like sort of convenient to you. So trade payable or creditor debit, trade receivable or debtor credit. This is the correct double entry. This is the correct double entry. So in the trade receivable account, the entry is made correctly, right? In the trade receivable account, the entry is made correctly. The problem was with the trade payable. So in the trade receivable account, 2000 is correctly credited. But instead of debiting the trade payable account, you debited the sales account. You debited the sales account. Now, does this lead to a suspense? No. Does this lead to a suspense? No. It doesn't lead to a suspense. Okay. Now, what am I supposed to do? Remove the sales. Credit to. It's debited, right? Credit, remove the sales. Take it to the trade payable. Debit to. There you go. That's your answer. Okay. Right. So, the fifth one is now, what is it? Trade payable. Debit to. Sales. Credit to. Okay, righto. Now, what is it? Contra entry recorded in sales was corrected. There you go. That's the journal entry to correct the last adjustment we got. I hope that is clear. So instead of debiting the trade payable, you debited the sales. So now remove the sales by crediting it, take it to the trade payable account, go for a debit entry. With that, your trade payable is perfectly recorded. Okay, now tell me the impact on profit. I'm not going to open up my mouth. You need to decide whether this entry has got anything to do with profit. If so, should I increase or decrease? Answer me. I'm not going to explain anything, not going to open up my mouth. Let's see how far you have got this. Does adjustment number 5 has got anything to do with profit? If so, how much should I increase or how much should I decrease? Okay, go for it. Sorry guys, that was a mistake. Very good, Danish. Very good. You are correct, Danish. You are correct, Danish. What about others? Amila, the question was this. I'm sorry. Amila, I hope you can see my hand. Okay. We have adjusted the last one. We have adjusted the last adjustment. So it was basically a contra entry recorded in the sales account. We corrected it. So the correction was made here. The correction was made right here. Now my question was this. This adjustment, will it have any impact on profit? This adjustment you got here, will it have any impact on profit? If so, should it go up or should it come down? Give me the answer. Very good, Asna. Asna, brilliant. Huh? Very good. But Asna, there is one thing. I just saw your answer. You're correct, Asna. But just look at the number. The number is also correct. But what are you going to do? Very good, Amila, you're correct. Asna, you are correct. And I think my friend, who, where is he? Where is she? No, not Asna. Huda, you are correct. Asna, just check. Sales, should you deduct or should you add? Because just to let you know, Asna, sales is debited. Sales is debited. Sales is an income, it's on the credit side. If you debit the sales, sales will come down. Right. Yadurshi, yenga Yadurshi, the sattate kano. Yadurshi, you there? Right, you got to add. Exactly. What do you need to do? You need to add sales. Add how much? 2. With that, we can conclude the question. With that, we can conclude the question. Okay. How much do we get? I think I'll have to use my calculator in the laptop. Okay. We've got minus 9.2 plus, no, minus another 30 plus 2 minus 7.6. That gives me minus 42.8. Okay, so 750 minus 42.8, that gives me my correct profit, which is 7.2, 7.2, which is my corrected profit. Which is my corrected profit. There you go. That's your answer for question number 1. I think I took a bit more time than what it is required. Obviously, I should have, be a bit early to finish off the class, to be a bit early to finish off this question. But unfortunately, I'm having a bit of an insecurity because I'll be honest with you. Now, I know the capacity of Danish, I know the capacity of Sharda, okay, and then I know the capacity of Umar and a couple of students that I got. To be perfectly honest, I just started teaching online. This batch, it's not even an year since I started teaching online, but Physical classes, of course, I teach in Mawanella, Kandy, as well as in Colombo. You can find me there in Kandy Farade, Mawanella Farade, not Mawanella Farade, Colombo Farade, Wattala. But in Mawanella, I have my own college called Impact College. So the other students have no idea whether you are good with accounting or bad with accounting. That's why I took a bit of time, explained you everything in detail, because I don't want at least one of you to get agitated uh, because me rushing through the question. I don't want that to happen. Okay. So we have another 8 more minutes to go. I'm not going to do any other part 2 questions. Let's do some MCQs together. Okay. Let's do 1 or 2 MCQs and we can conclude the class. And you're going to do it now. Okay. Let's see how far you can do this. Can you do question number 4? Do question number 4 for me. Do question number 4 and give me the answer. I've got one answer for now. What about others? Okay, let's do this question. So I got some good answers from you. Many of you have chosen the similar answer, except few. Let's go for it. Okay. So now when it comes to MCQs, guys, here, when it comes to MCQs, there are certain techniques, okay, that you can use to tackle the MCQ as quick as possible. Because it's not about getting the answer correct, it's about getting the answer correct in the given time. It's important too. Some of us are very good in terms of getting the answer, but we are pretty slow. If you are slow, forget about getting an A pass in accounting. Forget about getting an A pass in accounting. So to be correct and to be on time, both are mandatory for you to go for an A pass, right? Just don't think just by getting the answer correct, you'll be fine. Because if you run out of time, you will miss a lot of marks, okay? So when it comes to MCQs, the techniques are important. What do they tell you? The trial balance of Renu PLC was not equal on 31st March 2022. The subsequent investigation revealed the following. What are they asking for? They're asking for balance of suspense account before rectifying the error. So keep in mind, before rectifying. Before kiyanne, you before correcting the error. Sorry, I think that's the same thing. Like, why should I explain it? Okay, so the balance of suspense account before rectifying the error. Let's go for it. What's the first one? 1,800 included in expense analysis column of cash payment journal was recorded in the credit side of the relevant account. Okay. Now, this is an insurance expense. What's the double entry for insurance expense? What's the double entry for insurance expense? Simple. Insurance is an expense, insurance account debit, cash account credit. Insurance account debit, cash account credit. So what is the amount given? The amount given is 1,800, right? So did you debit the insurance account? No. Did you credit the cash account? Yes. You credited the cash account by 1,800, but instead of debiting the insurance account, what did you do? Instead of debiting the insurance, you credited it. So instead of debiting, if you credit, what will happen? It will get credited twice. You see, two entries are in the credit side. Instead of debiting, if you credit, the golden rule is applied. Instead of debiting, if you credit, it's going to get credited twice. You see, now there are two entries on the credit side. So now suspense is going to get created. Suspense will bear a balance in the debit side. That's going to be 3,600. That's going to be 3,600. Listen, you are not going to correct the entry. Yeah? You are not going to correct the entry. Why? Because they are asking for the suspense before the correction. They are asking for the suspense before the correction. So if you correct the entry, if you correct this error, suspense will get credited in order to be deleted. Suspense will get credited in order to be deleted. In order to delete the suspense, what we would do? We would credit it, right? You can't credit. Don't credit. Because they want you to find out the suspense account before the correction of error. So now you will have 3,600 on your debit. You'll have 3,600 on your debit side. Okay, that's basically what the first adjustment, right? Second one, what is it? Let me screen share in case if you don't have the tute with you. Sales journal was understated by 10,000. Tell me, if sales journal is understated by 10,000, will it lead to a suspense? Will it lead to a suspense? If sales journal is understated by 10,000, will it lead to a suspense? Yes or no? Very good, Amila. No, it won't lead to a suspense. It will not lead to a suspense. Let me tell you why it's not going to lead you to a suspense. Let me tell you why it's not going to lead you to a suspense. Think about it. If something was to happen in the prime entry book, this is if an error was to happen in the prime entry book, listen. If an error was to occur in the prime entry book, always listen to me. No impact on suspense. That's a technique or that's a tip you should always keep in your mind. That's a tip you should always keep in your mind. If you find an error in the prime entry book, forget it. It has got nothing to do with the suspense. It has got nothing to do with the suspense. That's basically an error that do not affect the trial balance. That's an error that do not affect the trial balance. I told you the techniques are important. So if you find an error in the prime entry book, deem it to be an error that does not affect the trial balance. Keep that in mind. Bear that in mind. No need to have any cross questions. If an error was to take place in the prime entry book, forget it. It has got nothing to do with the suspense. And I'll prove it to you. I'll tell you why. If an error was to happen in the prime entry book, from the prime entry book, where do we take it to? We take it to the GL. So if an error was to happen to the prime entry book, for example, let's say sales, okay, let's say sales journal. Instead of putting 100, let's say you put 10. Instead of putting 100, let's say you put 10. This is an error made in the prime entry book, right? Now, this will get totaled. And now the double entry will be done for the wrong figure, i.e. 10,000. 10,000 will get credited, 10,000 will get debited. So now the entry is made for 10,000, right? So the double entry is made correctly, but the amount on which the double entry is done is basically the wrong. The amount in which the double entry is done is basically wrong. The entry is correct. So always keep in mind, if an error was to happen in the prime entry book, your GL will reflect the wrong amount. But it will be reflected in both the accounts. The double entry will be done correctly, but for the wrong amount. So if the double entry is done correctly, this will not lead to any suspense. This will not lead to any suspense. So that's a shortcut. I want all of you to keep in your mind. If an error was to happen in this prime entry book, don't worry, it will have no issues with the suspense. Right. Next one. Next one. Total of sales analysis column on the cash receipt journal 83,000 was recorded in the cash control account only. So sales in the cash receipt journal reflects the cash sales. No doubt in it, right? Sales in the cash receipt journal reflect the cash sales. Okay. So cash sales is only recorded in the cash control account. Tell me what's the double entry for cash sales? Tell me what's the double entry for cash sales? Cash account debit, sales account credit. Okay. How much is it? 83,000. So 83,000 is recorded in the cash account, not recorded in the sales account. This will lead to a suspense. In the credit side, how much is it? 83,000. Don't correct. Your answer here is 83,000. So now what's your balance? 83, 83. From 83, if you minus 3,600, 79,400 carried down, brought down 79,400. So your answer is 79,400 in credit side. What's your answer? It's basically answer number 5th. It's basically answer number 5th. Right. So there you go. That brings us to the end of this session. Hopefully, guys, hopefully, I will be discussing the remaining homeworks next week. Okay. Hopefully next week also we'll be having a free class. In that I'm expecting to discuss the part 2 questions first. MCQ is going to be the last week of this month. Okay. MCQ is going to be the last week of this month. So hopefully, next week, I'm planning to discuss question number 2, question number 3, and then question number 4. And then question number 5 and 6 and 7. Obviously, out of these 3, I will only be discussing one. The remaining are for you. And the last week, I will be discussing all the MCQs. Okay. And then we will be having a unit test. Okay. Even the free people, you can do the unit test too. I will guide you how the unit test to be done. I will tell you how you are going to take up the unit test. Take up the unit test and see how far you are progressing. I will get all your unit test papers marked physically. I'll tell you how it's done. Right. Other than that, there is nothing much to say from my end. Just a quick confirmation. Are we okay? Are we okay with the session today? Right. Now say, okay, I know you're not going to answer me. Okay. I know you're not going to obviously answer me. Okay. Right. Okay. You can rate it. Rate the session from 10 to 2. If it is good, it's 10. If it is bad, it's 2. I can't see, yeah. I can't see who rate it, Kiela. Don't worry, you can rate it the way you want. I got only 4 ratings for now. We've got 8 people. Thank you, Sharda. Okay. 6 people have voted out of 8. I don't know. Maybe the remaining 2 people have issues in voting because there is a system issue as well. So out of 6 people, 5 gets 10. Thank you very much. Okay. Nandri, gracias and jazakallah. Okay. That's honestly a pleasure to get a 10 rating. And obviously, there is one person voting 9. Thank you very much too. I appreciate you. Maybe I might have made a mistake somewhere for you to give me 9. And next time, I will definitely make sure that I will somehow give you the satisfaction to go for a 10 rating. Okay. So thank you very much for voting, guys. I hope you enjoyed the session. I hope these free sessions are of benefit one way or the other. Don't worry, I'll be giving free sessions one way, every time. Like for example, when we start off the accounting concept, and then when we do sole traders here and there, I will give you free sessions. So don't leave from the group. Even if you have no plan to continue my classes, if you have no plan to continue with me, don't leave the group, because here and there I will give off free classes for you to join and maybe to brush up your skills. So thank you very much for joining. It's a pleasure to have such an interactive session. All of you were interactive and gave me answers whenever that I asked. I highly appreciate your effort. Thank you very much, and I'm forever grateful. I'll be meeting you up next week again on the same day, Friday. We are going to meet up and we are literally going to trash the rest of the homeworks we got. Until then, I'll meet you up. Assalamu alaikum, wanakkam, aibuan. Have a very good week ahead, guys.